Hello and welcome to Case Closed. I'm Charlie Langton, your host. We will soon go inside an actual courtroom in the Warren District Court to see a real small claims case in action. Under Michigan law, small claims cases may be brought by individuals seeking $3,000 in damages or less. Neither side may be represented by an attorney in small claims court, and the judge's decision is final. So now, let's go inside the courtroom and see the case of the dog with the good temperament but bad heart.
'37th District Court is in session. I will Judge Schmer presiding. Please remove your hats and shut off your cell phones.
Tell me what happened here. What's the problem?
I purchased a dog from Miss Miller.
What kind of dog?
It's a Neapolitan Mastiff.
Oh, a Neapolitan
Mastiff.
Mastiff.
Yes, sir.
Never heard of that type of dog.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. I'm
Yes.
sure they are. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bought it, right?
Right.
Purebred, then, right?
It's supposed to be a purebred, yes.
Okay.
But I've taken him to the vets. You have
When did you buy the dog?
When did I buy it? On
Right.
9/20 of 2004.
Okay.
9/26 exactly.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I signed a contract with Miss Miller for a health guarantee on this puppy. She told me that this guarantees the dog in any situation if there's any like congenital problems, anything basically wrong with the dog except for cherry eye, which the dogs are very frequent
Except for
to get.
what?
Cherry eye. It's
Cherry
a third
eye.
eyelid they get.
Okay.
And any infections, which of course if the dog gets, they won't cover. I have to take the puppy in. They get 4 series of shots. I took him in for the second series of his shots, and I mentioned to the vet that I'd really like to breed these dogs. I like these dogs. And she's like, I don't advise you of breeding this dog. And I asked her why, and she said because it has a hump on its back, and its pelvis is severely slanted. And I was like, okay, what should I do? She recommended me going back to the breeder and mentioning it to him because they don't want you to keep breeding dogs that have defects, so it doesn't continue. I went back to Miss Miller and I mentioned to her, because she said, if there's any problems, let us know. This is the first time we've ever bred with this breeder. I said, that's fine, no problem. I had no problem with it. So I went back to her and told her about it. And she said, okay, I understand, let me talk to the breeder. Well, during that time, the doctor called me back and says, this dog has an enlarged heart. You need to get him to a cardiologist.
A cardiologist for a dog?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know this either. So I said, okay. So I took him to the cardiologist. The doctor did give him a clean bill of health, as in the heart is okay, it's pumping fine, it's great, it can work. But it's got a large fatty mass, which is unusual for the dog to have around its heart. So I called Miss Miller back again, told her what was going on with that. She said, that's fine, let her talk to the breeder.
Now, Ms. Miller's not the breeder?
She has a dog and another dog, and there's another dog I guess she has the female, and the sir's with another man that she breeds with. So she had to consult with the other person.
Half.
Yeah, the other half. And I talked to her again, and I mentioned what was going on about the cardiologist. Everything's okay with that, basically, but he still has, the fatty around the heart, and according to the doctor, there's still a little heart murmur. She said, okay, give me time to call back. Well, I waited a week. I called her back, left her a message. Nobody called back. Mentioned it to my fiance and told him, listen, I can't get her to call me back. So he called. She did answer the phone. And to be honest with you, I think he should, because I wasn't there for that conversation, but what I understand is she told him, no, we refuse to give you the money back, but we would consider a puppy.
I mean, another dog?
Another dog.
You had 2 dogs.
Well, yeah. And I was like, at first I was like, okay, that's fine. But when it came down to it and I got all the paperwork from the doctors, the cardiologists, and sent it to them, they're like, no way. We're not paying you any money. We're not giving you another dog, not till it's dead. And I have a letter with him highlighted as in dead. And I was like, oh my God, and I called him. He got really nasty on the phone and told me, I'm not paying you unless this dog's dead. Unless it dies from this problem, I'm not paying you for it. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll contact my attorney and I'll let them deal with it. So I had my pre-legal attorneys write them a letter. They sent them a letter back, again, with highlighted, dead, we're not giving you nothing.
And your dog's alive, which is why you're suing.
Right, the dog is still alive, and the dog's going to need treatment later on in life, and it needs treatment now because its back end, he walks sideways when he walks.
Well,
and everything's slanted.
What precisely is wrong with the dog? Now, the dog now is what, a year old, something like that?
He is a year old now. The exact words of the doctor is.
Oh, let me see that.
Okay.
Because you're never going to be able to pronounce that, neither will I.
Sure. This is from the doctor he sees, and there's 2 letters. Do you want
Dog
the
is
first?
getting better care than I am.
Let me see it all the time.
Cherry Hill Animal Clinic, this is where you see the doctor, right?
Yes, sir.
This is, now, who's Deborah Zarish? Is that the,
That is-
oh, that's the vet?
That's the vet. I have all the papers from every treatment he's had right here with the receipts.
Okay, now, your dog's name is Thor?
His name is Thor.
Thor Kingsley?
Yes.
So your dog is your last name?
They have to put it under the last name, yes.
I don't understand stuff like this, I really don't. All right, anyway, I have a letter here from this vet dated June 18th.
Yes.
I've seen Thor Kingsley as a patient since he was approximately 3 months old. There's never been a history of injury. Thor's abnormal pelvic and back posture was present when he came in for his first puppy exam. It is clearly a congenital developmental abnormality present since birth. Due to the possibility that he could pass this defect along to his offspring, breeding should not be considered. If you have any further questions, please contact me at your convenience. Okay, now there's another letter here dated March 18th from the same vet. This is dated or addressed to Breeder, Dear Breeder.
That's the one that she sent to them, that I sent to them when I asked for the puppy. The new puppy that Ms. Miller said that we could possibly
Who's
have.
Dr. Brown?
Dr. Brown is, do you want that one? That is the cardiologist.
That your dog sees?
Yes.
I've waited to confer with Dr. Brown concerning the heart, and we radiographed the chest to get clearer views of the cervical vertebrae. The cardiology report is enclosed. I sent Thor to Dr. Brown for evaluation because the heart appeared enlarged on radiograph. Basically, Dr. Brown feels that the heart is normal except for minor aortic insufficiency. There is a large layer of fat surrounding the heart, which made the heart appear enlarged on radiograph and within the cardiac sac. This was detected by ultrasound echocardiogram. After talking to Dr. Brown, he informed me that he feels that this increased amount of fat should shrink with maturation and growth. It has no relationship to Thor's body fat ratio. I am always worried about potential heart abnormalities since heart problems can commonly affect especially any large-sized breed of dog. This is a big dog then, I
Yes,
guess,
it's
or
a
going to be a
large
big dog? How big? I mean, like a Great Dane, that big?
No, he's not that big. He's about, right now he's 120 pounds, 120
geez.
to 200. They can.
How
they
big?
vary.
He's going to get to 200?
No, right at this point, they do not want him to get any, gain much more weight than what he's at.
So he's
because
going to be
of his
at
back.
120.
Yep.
He's got a
I
bad
have to
back, so he
monitor-
shouldn't gain weight.
Yeah, I have to
know that
monitor
feeling.
everything he eats.
This dog and me have the same problems. The other concern I have regarding Thor's anatomy is his chest and back. That's right up my alley. He has an abnormal curvature of the spine in the thoracic lumbar area. This abnormal curvature could make Thor more susceptible later in life to back problems. He shouldn't shovel snow. For example, we can see an increased incidence of intervertebral disc disease in dogs with abnormal posture in the mid-back area. I mean, was this going to be like a show dog, or
This was going to be,
what are we gonna do with this?
I bought him for a pet for our family because I was sick of getting mutts and not having a good, having all sorts of problems with them. So I thought, I'll go to a breeder this time and get a good dog so maybe I won't have as many problems.
But I mean, what were you going
I
to
was
do with the
considering
dog?
breeding him after
And,
I got him.
and then doing what? Selling them or
Yes,
becoming a
and selling
breeder?
them. Yep. I was considering that, but after I got this, I was told, do not do it.
This looks like it's going to be a regular old dog,
He's going to be it.
which is okay, I suppose.
Yes.
That's what most people have. Disc disease can press on the spinal cord and eventually render older dogs weak in their rear legs. This abnormality could be passed to offspring, so I have advised against breeding. Thor also slants dramatically in his pelvis. Fortunately, we have ruled out hip dysplasia, which can sometimes be involved with this type of structure. Well, that's good. My compliments on your breeding for good temperament. This is Thor's a very nice boy. Well, he gave you that anyway. It doesn't sound like he gave you much anything else. Dog's got a good temperament, but it seems like everything else is wrong. I also compliment you for being a responsible breeder who's concerned about the quality of your breeding program. Many breeders, even though concerned about their animals, do not own up to breeding for best breed standards. Unlike you, they continue to breed genetically inferior traits. Thank you for your concern and attention to this matter. Again, I apologize for being so late. Please call me. Well, that must have made you feel pretty good, huh?